Hey everyone, in this video we will learn about the object storage or S3 and the difference between it and the traditional file hierarchy. So let's start first with our traditional file hierarchy or our file tree, which is similar to this, where you have folders and directories where you store your data, and you have a nested hierarchy like this: folder inside the folder inside another folder. Okay. And the deeper your hierarchy is, more problems and issues will come up. Like the file search tasks, for instance. File search will be much, I don't want to call it difficult, but it will take much longer than in object storage. We will learn shortly about the structure of files in object storage. Okay. Again, if your file hierarchy become very deep, you will get errors regardless of your operating system. So you have limitations here. So you may get errors when you try to move or copy a folder that is deep down there, because the file name or the path, yes, the path to the file or the directory that you want to handle is deep, which might have already reached the maximum limitation for characters in a path, depending on the file system being used. Okay. And it also has a limitation to the maximum files that you could store and the maximum storage capacity that it could handle. All right. And this makes it more difficult for the applications that handles like hundreds of thousands or maybe millions of files that are under the same tree or under the same hierarchy. Okay, so when it comes to the file management or file listing under the object storage, okay, so the hierarchy there is flat hierarchy. There is no hierarchy. All of your files are stored under the same directory. It's not a directory actually, but let's call it like that. All of your files are stored under the same directory, under the same path. Okay, you may, according to the storage solution you're using with object storage, you could be able to create folders or directories, but at the end, a directory in object storage is nothing but just a label. It's just a label, okay, for your to make it a bit user friendly for you to organize your data. However, object storage is using a manifest or a metadata, okay, information about all of your files, like quick pointers, and this makes it much easier and faster for the applications dealing with object storage buckets to find the required files and information. And again, object storage has no limitation when it comes to the storage capacity. The more physical storage you add, the bigger or larger it becomes. It will add more capacity for you, so it's endless. It has no limitations when it comes to the storage capacity. All right, so let's have a look on the way we could handle and deal with the files and information stored on an object storage bucket. Okay, so the end user can't directly fetch or deal with the data stored within an object storage, but the applications could, because the main method to deal with the files within an object storage bucket is via the APIs, according to the storage solution you're using. So your application will be directly managing the objects within the object storage bucket, like for instance a website with the static content. So the best way, one of the good ways to store the data files for your website is to store it on an object storage bucket. Again, it depends on your use cases. So there are many use cases for using the object storage. It could be used again with a web static content. So object storage bucket could be used as it could function as a web server, okay, as in Amazon AWS S3 services, okay. It's also useful for big data analytics and also for backup and archival purposes. And by the way, one of the best use cases, if I'm not mistaken, for S3 buckets, it's used by Netflix. I suppose that you already know what Netflix is. It became very famous these days. So S3 is, the Netflix services are hosted on AWS. And to my understanding, that all of the content, the video, the films, the movies, and the series that you watch are stored on S3 buckets. Great. So let's have a quick demo and let's have a quick look at the S3 buckets on AWS. All right, so here I am on my AWS account, and let's search for S3. S3. Okay. All right, so Amazon has different flavors of S3 storage, S3 object storage services. So it has the basic S3 services without going deep into the configuration, as well as the S3 Glacier, which is mainly used for backup and archival purposes. So let's click on S3 and see my S3 buckets. Amazon calls the object storage containers, let's call it, as a bucket. Okay, let's examine this bucket here. Okay, what do we have here? We have web files. So this bucket mainly is functioning as a web server. Let's open the index file. Okay, open. And here we go. We have a web page that is currently hosted on a S3 bucket from AWS. Welcome to my S3 bucket. Well, that's it for this video. In the next video, we will be discussing and learning about the public cloud services and how to back up your data to the cloud and what solutions are being offered by different cloud providers. Thank you very much for viewing, and see you later. Goodbye.